Hello and welcome to the weather update. It is 10 o'clock on September 11th, 2023. And obviously, we had a very active day with the thunderstorms developing across. And you could see what's going on here. We're looking at the satellite, and you could clearly see all the cumulus buildup over the middle of the island. And we're going to go to the radar rewind here in a moment and show you what was going on. And I have videos of it as well, so you can see what's going on. But let's go to the radar rewind, and we'll take you back to around, let's see. There's nothing going on around noon, but then as we go into 2 o'clock, you start seeing some thunderstorms pop up here. Some showers and thunderstorms popping up right in the middle of the island. There's one there, right around Floral Park, and then another one around Coram and Middle Island. And then going into the afternoon, you could see these storms kind of just branch out. They spread out pretty much across the middle of the island. You could see middle of the island area, South Shore not getting anything. Except views. With the views of the clouds were amazing. And then as we got to at 4:30, we had more storms popping up here. One around New Rochelle, and then another one around Smithtown. These produced a lot of rain. And I think it's going to be very impressive to see these rainfall totals where it got hit. And then it looked like a line was developing around 6:30, but it kind of fizzled by the time it got to us 7 o'clock. And you can see here it kind of fizzled out by the time it got here, but you can still see there was some strong stuff over there. But what I showed the Skype on today, we'll just show you some of the pictures because I have video of what things look like. But that is the view there. Cumulonimbus cloud there viewed from Southard's Lake. Another picture, cumulonimbus cloud viewed from Babylon. And then this was the sky in the evening here. Look at that. That's, again, cumulonimbus. And then we got altocumulus on the edges here. Another look at the anvil here that was forming all over us there. Beautiful anvil. And then a little bit of evening clouds here as well here at Mass. So you'll see the videos. But anyway, it's pretty impressive. And we just because of that, there was a flood watch in effect for our area. That's since dropped. But we do have flash flood warnings going on in central New Jersey right now. Where these storms have just been training over and over and over again. Looking at the radar right now, you can see the activities died down. We do have plenty of rain over New England as well. So let's go to the weather and hazards map here, and we'll take a look at our temperatures right now. 70 degrees at Islip. Still humid out there. Not as humid as yesterday, but you can still feel the humidity. The winds have just been variable. They've been southeast to northeast, generally speaking. But if we go look at the conditions at Islip, the kind of day that you had at Islip, you'll see that we had rain being reported at certain times, scattered clouds, and then heavy rain was reported around 2:10. So let's go put the precipitation amounts on the screen here. And we'll put this for today, so 24-hour period here. And you'll see some areas really got a lot of rain. Some areas didn't. The South Shore. Some areas in the South Shore didn't, but some areas did, depending on where these showers hit. There's 1.13 inches that fell in Wansaw. And then you can see we actually have some flood. What's this? A flood advisory now. So we have flood advisories for parts of our area as well. And you'll see here, let's take a look and see how much rainfall Mineola got. Almost an inch? 0.94 Carl Place, 1.22 in Floral Park. So, yeah, we got some decent amounts of rain here, depending on where you were. Let's take a look at the North Shore where this flood advisory is. We only have one observation. I'm curious about that. We're going to look at the Wonder Map in a minute. Yeah, over an inch at Islip. So, this rain was much needed. Let's see what we can pull up over here as far as out east goes. 1.56 at Middle Island, 1.85 in Miller Place, 0.30 at Brookhaven. Again, as you go toward the South Shore, look at that, only 0.02 at West Hampton. So it all depends on where you were. Further north, they got the storms. Further south, they tended not to. And then as we go into the Bronx here, some of these areas, looks like some areas got over an inch of rain there. 1.51 there near Harrison. So, look, northern Queens, almost 2 inches are reported there. I don't believe that 3.70. I think that's wrong. Let's look at central Jersey where this flash flood warning is as well. Let's take a look at that. You can see a lot of over an inch amounts at Staten Island here. Yeah, in this area we've seen between 1 and, well, some areas have gotten over 2 inches of rain here, like this site here in Howell. So Howell's gotten a lot of rain. What about Toms River itself? Only 0.19 in Toms River, so it was all very localized. The storms, wherever they formed, they didn't move very much. That's been the story all week long. See, our highs were only in the low 80s on Long Island. They got into the mid 80s in Jersey. Lows generally around 70 degrees. So let's go to the climate statistics here, and I don't think they have a rainfall link on rainfall reports, but we'll go to the climate statistics, and you can see we got the stall front in the area. That's why we've got all these storms popping up. So islip still was above normal today. 7 degrees above normal for the high. 7 degrees above normal for the day. The high was 5 degrees above normal. The low was 10 degrees above normal. And again, we got 0.89 inches of rain at islip. This is when the observation was taken. Central Park, about 6 degrees above normal for the day, and only 0.30 for precipitation. But if we go to Bridgeport, I have a feeling Bridgeport got only 0.07. Okay. What about Newark? 1.49. So let's see. No, MM. It says MM. What is that supposed to mean? So let's get some more. Let's go to LaGuardia because I'm feeling they got a little more. Let's see. Only 0.08? Really? So the shower somehow just missed the airport. It just shows you how localized this was. It was just very, very localized wherever this rain fell. And that's what made it interesting. So let's go to Wonder Map. Get some more rainfall reports here for you. This will kind of show you what's going on. So, yeah, you can see this area barely got anything. But if you go over to Whitestone, you're 1.76 inches. Floral Park got over an inch. Actually, this site here in Mineola is reading 1.35. Go to the South Shore, not nearly as much. Not nearly as much on the South Shore. But then as you go toward Lindenhurst, there's some higher amounts. Babylon itself, a half an inch there. Deer Park, not much, but then as you go further north, and you get into those 1+ inch amounts, 0.26. Some sites at 0.26, but then you go across over here, and it's 0.1. So, all very localized. Depending on where these storms sat is where you got the rain. But yeah, you can see some of these areas around Kings Park, 1.68, 1.71. That's another area that was hard hit. We have 2.71 over here in Nissaquag. Going down to St. James, it's over an inch. Lake Grove got about a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch. Port Jefferson, another area that was hit hard, 1.19. And Belterre, 2 inches. Going along the North Shore here, you can see some high amounts here. And going to the Pine Barrens here, Ridge is 2.15. So Pine Barrens here got a lot of rain, 1.89 in Middle Island as well. So this whole area of the Pine Barrens got a lot of rain here. Going further east, can we just remove that radar, please? I don't want the radar there. All right. 0.82. But then look at this. This area north of the Riverhead got almost an inch, but then you go over here to Pine Valley, and it's only 0.1, depending on where these storms formed. Then you go down here, down toward West Hampton, Eastport, nothing, nada. But you go over here, Manorville, you're talking about a third of an inch. So it all depends on where you were. It's very, very localized. Very localized. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Go look at Jersey. It's going to be the same thing here. You're going to have that localized amount in some of these areas. Over 2 inches of rain here. Marlborough, Holmdel, 2.48. So these areas of Jersey got hit hard. As well as Freehold as well. South of Freehold, you're talking over 2 inches. And you get in Lakewood here, you're about 1.5 inches. Then as you go south into Toms River, boom, where did the rain go? Only 0.29 in Bayville. So, yeah, it's not that much. 0.56. So it's all hit or miss. That's the thing. It's hit or miss, depending on where these storms formed, because they just didn't move. Once they set up, they just never really moved very much. So let's go to the latest on the tropics now. We got all these actions, all the thunderstorms out of the way. Let's talk about Hurricane Lee. which is weakened again, down to 115 miles an hour. I thought it was a little stronger. Lee remains a slow-moving major hurricane, so it's moving very slow. As of 5 p.m., its location is 23.6 north, 64.2 west, about 380 miles north of the northern Leeward Islands, about 600 miles south of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are 115 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at 7 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 948 millibars, 28 inches. So as of 5 p.m., the center of hurricane was located. I'm not going to read this, so I got to read because we already read that already. Lee is expected to pass near but to the west of Bermuda in a few days. Maximum sustained winds are near 115 miles an hour with higher gusts. Lee's a Category 3 hurricane. Little change in strength is forecast during the next couple of days. So now they don't think it's going to really intensify again. I wouldn't write it off. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 75 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 185 miles. Saildrone 1864, located to the west of Lee's center, in the last few hours reported a sustained wind of 70 miles an hour and a wind gust to 88 miles an hour. So, yeah, that's what it's like inside the storm. So let's go to the cone here, and the good news is it looks like we're not in the cone. So they've taken us out of the cone. So let's go here to our warning cone. You can see Long Island is not in the cone, but it's close. You can see the Cape Cod is in the cone. So it's now looking like it's going to be between either Rhode Island or Nova Scotia at this point, where this storm is going to hit. So they've taken us out of the cone. That's some good news. It looks like I can breathe a sigh of relief. At least we're not in the cone anymore. So let's take a look at Lee on the satellite. Go to the satellite here. So here's Lee on the satellite, still looking pretty impressive. You can see maybe some dry air is getting into it a little bit, but I still think once it moves further north, it's going to re-strengthen, I think. But that's still a very healthy looking hurricane for sure. And of course, Lee isn't the only storm out there. We have Margaret as well. Margaret is a hurricane now as well. So let's go to the public advisory on Margaret. Margaret becomes the 5th hurricane of the 2023 hurricane season. As of 9 p.m., its location 27 north, 39.8 west, about 1,265 miles northwest of Cabo Verde. Max sustained winds are 75 miles an hour, moving north at 12 miles an hour. And the extent of the hurricane force winds is 15 miles to the center. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 125 miles from the center. And again, the minimum central pressure, 988 millibars, 29.18 inches. Obviously not nearly as strong as Lee, but still interesting. So let's take a look at Margaret next. So this is Margaret. Also looking pretty interesting here. You definitely see some dry air getting into it a little bit, so it doesn't have a full wrap. But definitely a hurricane. But it's not going to bother us. And that's the thing about Margaret. If you go to the National Hurricane Center and click on Margaret and look at the map, you'll see here it's not going to be a problem again. It's going to stay out in the ocean, so not really going to affect anyone anytime soon. So let's go to tropical tidbits, and we'll go to the storms, and we'll again look at a loop of Lee here, and you can see it does look like some dry air might be getting into the storm, so this might cause it to weaken a little bit further. But I still think once it gets a little further north and gets into that warmer water, I think it will strengthen again. So let's go take a look at our spaghetti models. You can see most of them take it off to the east now of us. Most of them are lining up around Nova Scotia, but there's still a few that take it a little more toward Maine or maybe even the coast of Massachusetts. And here are your GEFS ensembles. Some still take it kind of close. So you still got to really watch out for that, possibility that it could hook well. Look, one of them is taking it right to Long Island. Just one. These are the GEPS tracks. All right. Intensity guidance. Some of the models don't think it's going to go up to Cat 4, but we'll see. I'm surprised it hasn't, but I'm thinking it's encountering maybe a little bit of dry air, and that's probably, it's also in the wake of Franklin, so Franklin was in a similar area to some extent, and that caused some could have caused some upwelling. So let's go talk about Margaret again. We'll just look at Margaret again on the satellite. You can see here it is. And again, just looking, not nearly as impressive as Lee, obviously, and it's got that dry air. We can look at the models, and you can see it kind of just eventually could curve it toward Europe, perhaps. So let's go to the models here, and we'll take a look, and we'll go to the East Coast view here. eastern U.S., and you'll see this GFS run here. This is the 18Z GFS run. You can see it's steering it well east. That high builds in and pushes it east, and it goes into Nova Scotia. It would be another devastating hurricane for Nova Scotia, obviously, but it would miss us. Once that front comes offshore, that trough's far enough away that keeps it away. And then as far as the next storm goes, you can see there's another one. They could head off to Nova. This one hasn't even formed yet. All right. We'll deal with one storm at a time. So that is the GFS, and if we go to the upper air here, the wind, you see here, there's that trough, and it pulls it up away from us. All right. If we go to the 500, you'll see here the same thing again. See how it kind of pulls it away from us. All right. The flow just keeps it away from us. All right. But we're still not certain yet what's going to happen here. So it's not, it still needs to be watched. Let's look at a few more models here. Let's go to the European model. So here's the European model. This is the 18Z, or actually it's not going to go far enough out. So I have to go back to the 12Z. 12Z. Euro hooks it a little further to the west. So there is this little hook to the west that we have to watch for. And that's the thing that might threaten Massachusetts. But maybe not us. You can see just how deep that storm is. So let's go look at the European here. We'll zoom it in here for you. And it's all depending on these factors in the upper air that right now it's looking, more favorable for us that we're going to avoid it. But for the people in the Cape and the coastal Massachusetts, they may wind up getting hit by this. And again, look at this wind field again that you have here. It's pretty impressive. This could be a Category 3 or maybe even a 2 by the time it gets over there. So it's going to be quite a devastating impact for this area, for sure. But luckily for us, it's far enough away. But we're still going to deal with the effects of, if we go to the wave height here, so you're going to wave height here. Go to the waves, you still got the effects of the surf, and then devastating. This would be devastating for the Cape, because you see that northeast wind is just pushing the water into that gulf where the Cape is, and that's going to cause a lot of flooding, a lot of storm surge inundation for Cape Cod. And Cape Cod's a beautiful place, but may not be so beautiful after Lee gets done with it. So let's get a little let's go talk a little more about our short term here. We'll have plenty of time to talk about Lee. So here we go with tomorrow. Fairer weather tomorrow. Don't think we'll see. We have a little more subsidence. I don't think we'll see the instability that we saw today with that little low pressure that was moving over us. But our next chance of really substantial rain would be on Wednesday with the cold front. And we could have a period of rain with this, with some showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. You can see right there some moving through right there with the cold front that we're going to have. Looking at dew points here. Again, the dew points have come down a little bit, so slightly less humid. You see, dew points might actually make it down below 70 tomorrow. Perhaps we might even see some 60-degree dew points, perhaps. And then as we get into Wednesday, you'll see, again, there's that humid air that's going to surge up ahead of the front, but then the drier air comes back into the picture. Air temperatures. So air temperatures tomorrow, we'll probably see temperatures probably around 80 degrees, maybe low 80s. Not dropping back that much at night. And then for Wednesday, because of the cloud cover, we may not make it to 80 degrees. All right. Going to the GFS here. Let's go and look at the dew points on here. So I'll show you that front again as it comes through. Here we go. Front comes through. And then we have nice weather for Thursday. And you can see there's Lee well out away from us. Right, though we'll still have some strong winds, gusty north winds. And then for the weekend, nice weather, northwest winds on the back side of it. Temperatures tomorrow, I think, the GFS is indicating a little bit warmer, so maybe low. Maybe some areas could get mid-80s. Less because we'll have some more sun tomorrow. Wednesday, probably cooler. And then Thursday, we're going to have a really nice cool day with temperatures only in the mid-70s. It's going to be very nice. And same thing, staying cool, low to mid-70s on Friday, staying really cool. Here we are, low 70s again for your Saturday. So it stays cool after that. We start maybe warming it up by Sunday a little bit. But other than that, it stays cool. Looking at your sky cover. Um, Obviously, we watch tomorrow. I think we'll have a little more sunshine, more clouds for Wednesday than Thursday. Should be sunny though. It's going to be interesting to see how that cloud shield from Lee kind of hooks up here. Maybe the east end might have some of the clouds from Lee, and then Friday we may be dealing with some of the clouds from Lee skirting our area. Perhaps that's all we would see: clouds and some wind and the high surf. And then Saturday, you have to see, maybe we get caught in the calm cirrus. So we'll have to see what happens with that. That's a ways off. Let's go look at the RGM. So here's the RGM model. All right. So here's the RGM model for tomorrow. You see some clouds to start. Then be a little sun in the afternoon. And then Wednesday we have the actual cold front come through. And then for Thursday it should be a nice, mostly sunny day. I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. Have a good night, and thank you for watching.